What's going on, guys? This is Chandler Smith, and today I take delivery of my brand new 2020 Porsche Taycan. Now, here's the truth. I've actually already taken delivery of this car. It's right behind that truck. However, we got bombarded with a rainstorm on delivery. So I'm gonna show you that, and then I'm gonna give you my first impressions of this car after having driven it for the last 3 to 4 days. So with all of that being said, let's jump into it. All right, guys, so we sold the Tesla. You just saw the Porsche delivered. Now let's give you my first impressions of this car. First off, this car honestly has the best presence of any car I own. And that might be a little bit of an overstatement because the Ferrari really has a presence on the road, so does the C8. But this car, the pictures do not do it justice. Seeing it in person, it is such a gorgeous car. And so for me, just admiring the curves, the lines, everything on this car has been an absolute blast. When you come, just to point it out, like you look up here and it's just the minor details in the back, like this swoop here is so cool. I wanted to show you in here, if you zoom in, it's just the tiny little stuff that they do that just really makes them a Porsche. Now, the exterior is beautiful, but honestly, where this car really won me over is the interior. And I'm gonna talk about a comparison with this car and my Tesla because I had the Model 3 Performance, which I paid $70-something thousand for. Obviously, this car MSRP is like 170 or 180,000. We picked it up on a screaming deal, brand new, 135 or I think like maybe 235 miles, and we got it for $135,000. And so it was an unreal deal, but the thing that really blew me away with this car is the interior. So let's show you the inside real quick. All right, we have to walk around it in the light again because man, this car is just so cool. The other thing that I really think is neat about this car is, first off, you walk around, but then when you come up to the handle, because you come up to open the door and the handle opens up for you the second your hand gets there. So let's show you the interior of this. Now, this is where I feel like the Porsche absolutely destroys Tesla. And I'll tell you, I've driven the Tesla Model 3 Performance, that's my daily driver. I've driven the Ferrari 458 Spider, I've driven the C8 Corvette, I've driven my Ford Raptor, driven a lot of other cars. The one thing about this car is when it comes to feeling like a business professional, just super classy, this is the car. Like you pull up to a meeting and you're just like, man, this is really cool. Where the other cars, they're like over the top flash. This is just so classy. And when you look at the interior, just all the little intricacies, and I feel bad it's dirty because I've been driving it a lot the last couple days, but let's go in. So the first thing, just all of the lines and the clean seams, even with the headrest, like the way that it adjusts, the screen across the entire front here, and then this. And one thing that I thought was kind of funny about this car, this thing down here is a little finger pad where you can do stuff to control stuff on this screen. So it's excessive, it's pointless, but it's freaking cool. You also look at just all the little details, the fact that this sticks out and you can see through. Like the interior of this car is just so freaking cool. The other thing, when you look at the back seats, and I just want to show you these, just looking at the way that this is set down in and all of these lines, it just is a very different car from the Tesla. And obviously I don't think that the Porsche was trying to compete with Tesla and what they do. The reason that I'm talking about Tesla is this is where the Porsche destroys Tesla. And for a daily driver, I'm also going to discuss some of the things that I really miss from my Tesla that this car doesn't have. But overall, the feel, the vibe, like the power of the car after driving it has been incredible. So we're gonna take you for a spin and talk about that next. All right, so you can see, look at all these screens. You've got this screen here, you've got this screen here, you've got this screen here, you've got this screen here. It just is like crazy. Also, if anyone has any advice, when I got my iPhone like 10 years ago, I had my dad's, I don't know what it was, but it like some of his music on my first iPhone forever ago, and I cannot figure out how to make it so that one of these songs from my dad is always the first song that pulls up anytime I go over to Bluetooth. So I get U2 that pops up. It's not the car issue, it's my phone issue. If you have any ideas on how to fix that, I would love to hear it, because I'm not really a U2 fan. But that's the first song that pops up every time I do Bluetooth on my phone. So first off, this little trigger right here, whatever you call it, for reverse and drive, I've loved. And I've done a lot of different stuff with the Flip with Tesla, with you know, control down here from my truck, with stuff up here. This is pretty cool. I've really enjoyed it, even though it's different and taking some getting used to. Now, right away when driving this car, the first thing that I realized is it feels substantially heavier than the Tesla. And I know that sounds like a bad thing, but it just feels, I don't know how to describe it. The Tesla felt like you were on a motorcycle, like being jerked around, and it's so light and every turn like hurts. This car just hugs the road. You don't hear, on this road I've got loose gravel. In the Tesla I would hear everything flying up, it would make noise, and this is just silent in here. Every bump I hit, you don't feel like the suspension in this car is 10 levels above my Tesla Model 3 performance. I'm really curious to see the comparison of this car compared to the Tesla Plaid that I have coming, because maybe that one will be at this level. But right now, comparing this to the Tesla Model 3 Performance, which those two cars go the same speed, even this one was, you know, double the price. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised that it feels so much better in that way. But I've noticed a huge difference. It just feels classy, it feels luxury, and the handling is just really fun. It's smooth. The other thing, the acceleration on this car is just as fast as my Model 3 Performance. As a matter of fact, I think it's a little bit faster if we were to test it, and trust me, we will. We'll race this against a Model 3 Performance because a bunch of my buddies have them, but it doesn't feel as fast. And what I mean by that is you go 0 to 80 miles an hour in this car, and for some reason, you don't feel it like you did in the Tesla. Like if we're sitting here and we do just a dead launch, like it's fast, but it's just a smoother, I don't know, it's just a smooth, clean, cool feel. I don't know how to describe it other than the fact that like it's fast, you feel it, it's powerful, it's aggressive, but it's just luxury, it's nice. When you hit these corners going 60 miles an hour, it just feels like that's what it's supposed to do, and it just is, it's so buttery. I love it. So, first impression of this car, I have been blown away. I absolutely love how it looks, I love how it feels, I love how I feel driving it. I know that sounds funny, but it adds a whole nother level of confidence drive around this car, which sounds funny, but it is just an incredible car. So those are all of the positives. Now it's time to tell you about my first impressions with the negatives. Number one, the Model 3 Performance, Tesla Model 3 Performance was my daily driver, and I did not realize how much I used autopilot. And the Porsche does not have autopilot, at least to my knowledge and the research that I've done, which is a bummer because on a road like this, I hit down twice and then I'm not worried because it's keeping me in the road. This car, I'm 100% in control 100% of the time. And with the feel and handling, that's probably how it should be because it's just such a fun car to drive. But when I'm going around meeting to meeting, I'm on the freeway, I'm on a phone call, I want to have less focus on the road and know the autopilot's doing things for me. That has been a negative or a bummer. The next potential negative or negative that's there, but I haven't experienced it yet, is charging. There are substantially more Tesla chargers throughout the nation for trips than there are for the Porsche. And I haven't checked out some of the normal trips I do that are the 3 to 4 hour road trips that I do once a month to see where the stations are for this, which I should have done. I was just planning on driving another car because the other bummer about this car is the range is a lot less. So the range on my Model 3 Performance was 310 miles. The range on this, I believe, is like 260, 265. If you really push the Tesla, you burn through it so quick, where this one is very spot on from what I've heard and made to be driven aggressively. It also has multiple modes that I really appreciate, so that when I'm driving aggressively, I can burn through the battery, but when I'm not, it really can maintain that range. And I've even heard you can milk it a little longer than what it promises, which is cool. That's just how Porsche is. That's also how I think they are with their 0 to 60. We're gonna try it right now, and we're gonna see if we can do a little test. I'm gonna go like this. Don't have anyone behind us. We're gonna go, so I'm gonna try and time this up. This is probably dangerous, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna try and stop it on 60. So you guys can watch it. So I don't know. Okay, this is the most ghetto Jimmy rigged test ever, but we're gonna try it. All right, I'm gonna try and time up both of them. Hard to know, huh? This car's freaking fast and it's freaking fun, and I love it. Like, I am so happy that I bought this car. I'm also so excited to compare it with the Plaid that, once again, you know, Porsche, when they say the car is gonna show up, actually that's not true. This ended up being a week or two behind because there was an update, which I'm grateful that Porsche updated it for the recall before they sent it to me. But I got the car, granted, I don't know, there's a lot that goes into it. I guess what I'm saying, Tesla always lets me down because when they say something's gonna show up, it never shows up, it's always late. I was supposed to be having the Roadster show up in 2020, and we're in 2021, and none of those have been released. So it is what it is. I'm still patiently waiting for the Plaid, and once that gets here, we're gonna be able to do some really fun comparisons between these cars. Now, I thought about buying the Turbo S. I don't really have any regrets. I love this car, and the only real difference was the speed. The real reason I wanted to get this and be able to compare is they're at the same price point. Actually, for what I got, I was able to get the 2020 brand new for $135,000. That's literally the same or within a couple $1,000s of what I'm gonna end up paying for the Tesla Plaid brand new in this year. So I thought that would be a very fair comparison. And again, that's after negotiating the Porsche down, but price-wise, I was able to get them at the same price, and now I'm gonna be able to give you a comparison of, you know, best bang for your buck. Would I take the Plaid or would I take this Porsche? And right now I'm telling you that I'm very grateful that I took both, because I am loving this car, but I'm also excited to see what happens with the Plaid. So those are my first impressions. If you're thinking about buying this car right now, it is a resounding yes. I'm gonna see how I feel about the range because I'm still running on my first charge, and it does seem like this charge has lasted a long time already, but I've just been jetting around town. Now, if you're saying, Chandler, what's with all the car content? We want to see the real estate stuff. Well, here's the deal. I've got 2 massive projects under contract, and I'm working on a 3rd. So the next month is going to be absolutely incredible for showing you some really fun stuff with pulling down some bigger real estate deals and some smaller ones. I have some sales reps and some family members that have some smaller multifamily stuff that they have under contract that we're going to be releasing those videos as well. So it's going to be a very fun 1 to 2 months going through a bunch of real estate content and a bunch of car content, and hopefully a comparison or a couple comparison videos of this Porsche to the new Tesla Plaid if my Tesla ever shows up. Now, if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you remember to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the little bell, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future videos. Thanks, guys.